What a nice ovation. Thank you for the video. And most importantly, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for Jim, Judy, all the work you guys do, especially all the volunteers, because I think the first-hand knowledge that I got from the Cape that it's not this business that just exploits a lot of man-hours to make it work. So not only for this big event at the Chatham Bars Inn, but just the whole Cape Cod League in general, I think a big thanks has to go to all the volunteers and the people that see so much in 18, 19, 20-year-old kids and just the joy of baseball that they bring to it. I'd also like to thank, my fellow inductees, and people say that baseball comes full circle, and I have a former teammate in Mark Smith. I played against David Bush, and I can say that I know the Red Sox have a managerial opening, and they would be honored and privileged if someone of Eric Wedge's caliber would be around. I'm definitely truly humbled to be with you seven outstanding gentlemen. And I was asked, when you come up here and talk, tell about some of your experiences, in the Cape Cod League. And I think the first thing that came to mind for me was the innocence of baseball. And I think it was baseball in its purest form. I think it started from the hospitality of the host families. And you have to understand where I come from. I grew up in Miami. And when I started playing summer ball, Miami Vice was the hot thing. And we faced a lot of teams from Minnesota, Georgia, Cincinnati, and the first thing they'd say to us is, "Are there dead people on the street?" No, there's not like dead people. There's normal people. Well, somewhat normal. And I remember my host family, the first thing they said, "Well, this will be your room." And I was rooming with a fellow FIU player, Juan Munoz. And they said, "Just go into the side. We don't lock the doors. You can park your car wherever you want." And we're looking at each other as, "Is she putting us on?" Lock the door. We're locking the door to our room. But I think it just showed the community atmosphere and the nature of what this league is all about. I think it goes much further than that in the families. I didn't live with the Gallup family, but they were kind of my pseudo-host family. And Paul and Lori, I know you're here somewhere. I know Paul's gone on to bigger and better things, being the commissioner, but he actually invited us for Sunday pancakes. We played basketball in his front yard. We played hockey, and being a Miami guy, we didn't even have a hockey team in Miami. We didn't know what we were doing with the sticks, but it was kind of fun hitting, and someone had to put a uniform on. I think it was his 8-year-old son at the time, and we just were kind of beating him up with a puck there, but they were very gracious to us, and definitely to the Troy family. I know they got the Lifetime Achievement Award, and they were very instrumental in making Chatham such a nice experience. But along with those lines with adjustments, not only was the locking of the doors something that was different, I wasn't exposed to the New England language. And I remember the first day we had a meeting, and some of the guys had some real cool jobs. The camps were the plush jobs. And I'm not sure who it was, but they said, "Okay, you guys just got to show up. You don't have to be in uniforms because everyone's got their shots." And we're asking teammates, "You got your shots? You're like a doctor. Shorts. You don't have to wear your pants. Oh, your shorts. Okay, it's going to be hats. I got it." Well, because of that, we weren't elected on the clinic team. So we probably have a barrier in communication there. But I want to say a first thank you to my parents, because they told me I didn't have to work in Cape Cod that summer. And that was very instrumental, because the summer before I was in the Virginia Valley League and got a great job of waking up at 6 in the morning. I had to put on boots that got up to my knees and weed eat on an 18-hole golf course. And the boots were to protect you from the rattlesnakes. Needless to say, I want to thank my parents for telling me that it was time to focus on baseball, and knowing that I was coming to Cape Cod, which was by far and without a doubt the elite summer league in the country. And I think what also stands out for me is the generosity of the coaches. And Coach Schiffner, I know more often than not, we talked and you took the time to go out and say, "Hey, we got an off day tomorrow, or come in early and we'll throw you some batting practice," because At the time, I know a lot of people don't know, I was his second baseman. I was tall and lanky and decent hitter, but no power. Nothing like this huge human specimen that stands before me. But he took the time. He says, you're going to go in your body, you've got to use your leverage, you've got to stand up a little bit more. And I think that was a big stepping stone in me having a successful summer and being able to move on to the next level. So Ship, I thank you for that. But I think the biggest thing for me was the thought process and where New England and Cape Cod kind of falls within me. Like I said, the summer before in Virginia, I finished the last game of this season and I went 4 for 6, and that catapulted my batting average to 204 for the season. So there was a lot of uncertainty going into the next summer. I didn't know if I was strong enough, talented enough to handle a wooden bat. So I still remember those uncertainties because I felt like I had confidence in my ability, but I hadn't proven it with a wooden bat. And if you can't do it in a summer league, you're definitely not going to be able to do it in professional baseball. And I realized that a successful summer here in the Cape really was a big stepping stone for me to be able to prove to myself that I could play at least at the professional level. So we'll fast forward 5 years, and during the rookie year of my major league season, I'm diagnosed with cancer. And at the end of the season, I get a call from a great Cape Cod friend, Dick Bresciani, that the Red Sox wanted to give me the Tony Conigliere Award for overcoming adversity. And I remembered when my wife and I showed up to Boston, it was about 12 inches of snow. It was unbelievable. And I said, there is no way anyone's showing up. This is January. We're 2 months away from spring training. Mind you, I played in front of 3,000 fans in a 75,000 seat stadium with the Marlins, so there's no way I'm showing up to this dinner. And it was packed. And it kind of brought back those memories of that pureness and that innocence of baseball that I felt like I got a real good taste of the first time here in the Cape. So I felt like, wow, what a good point to transition from going through surgery and treatment and getting back on the field to trying to have a successful big league career. I enjoyed 7 great years in my hometown in Miami where I grew up with the Marlins. I felt like 6 were good, and in 2005, I had a down year. Right around this time in 2005, Josh Beckman and I got traded to the Red Sox. And once again, I think it brought back a lot of those thoughts and those memories of struggling in Virginia and coming to the Cape. And walking into a Red Sox clubhouse, it was a very similar feeling of the experts saying that your career's on the downturn. And I was like, on the downturn? I'm 31, I'm not 81. You know, and I still felt like I had a lot of good baseball left. But once again, I get back into this New England area, and I realized from the fan standpoint here in Boston, it was the other end of the spectrum of what I was used to in Florida, where it could be a Tuesday night against the last place Kansas City Royals, and there's a chance of snow, and there's not an empty seat in the stadium. And that's something as a player that's very rewarding, and it makes you feel so satisfied. It makes you feel like all the work that you do is appreciated by people, and then some. So when I get to that team, I think I was thrown into the fire of what it was like to play for the Boston Red Sox when Kurt Schilling comes up to me, and I don't know Kurt from anyone, because he was just with the Diamondbacks, and I didn't like him because I don't like any pitcher. And he comes up to me and says, hey, congratulations, glad you're with us. And I'm like, oh, cool, Kurt, you might be a good guy. Just to let you know how it is around here. And I was like, oh. When we win, everyone's happy. When we lose, you ruin the night's sleep for most people. So I was like, we lose, it's 162 games. They expect us to go 162 and 0. He goes, sort of. Yeah. So you got that feeling, and I can honestly say that I enjoyed some of the best 5 years of my baseball career were here in this area, and I think, you know, the transitions take you through life in more ways than one. And I think now, you know, I retired at the end of the 2010 season. I got to have a chance to spend time with my family, my wife who's here, who we were a young couple dating and chatting when she came to visit me, and today I think things definitely come full circle. So I think it's a great way to finalize and put an exclamation point on a great ride that we've had together, and being inducted here in this Cape Cod League Hall of Fame. So it's a very special day for me and for everyone, and I thank you so much for letting me be a part of this day. Thank you.